inadequate.
Because they're 20 years old now, the springs in our seatbelt retractors have lost a bit of their stiffness, and let's face it, who amongst us is as stiff as we were 20 years ago? Now, we can't do much about the stiffness of the springs, but what we can do is increase the preload in them. So we're going to put a little bit more tension into them so that when they're in the park position, the spring's pulling back on the seatbelt a little bit more, and that'll help to avoid that problem we were just seeing, that the spring isn't strong enough to pull the seatbelt back into the mechanism. If you want to remove the seatbelt completely, so that's either you're going to replace the seatbelt because it's broken or damaged, or you're going to send it away for somebody else to repair it, or you'd just rather do this job off the car with it on a bench. If you want to take the seatbelt off completely, you're going to need to completely remove this B-post cover here, because the seatbelt retractor is inside there down at the bottom, and then the shoulder slider is also bolted on underneath the cover here, so you'll need to completely remove that. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're just going to loosen this B-post cover enough that we can slide the retractor out, and then I'm going to work on it in the car, and that will save me having to take this thing off completely. Okay, so self-tapping screw out. Peel back the carpet, and there's another one just in there. So remove this. Obviously your speakers might not be the same as mine, but with these ones you just, a little screwdriver, if we can, we'll peel back the grill. Peel off the grill, and then the speaker pod itself is held in by the speaker screw, so just undo the screws that hold your speakers on. Okay, speaker out. We'll disconnect that wiring. Put the speaker nice and safely out of the way along with the screws. And then this speaker pod, that's free at this end now, or at least it should be. There you go. And then there's just a push fit plastic fitting on that side, so just be a little bit careful as you remove that. You see there's just that push fit fitting fits into a lug on that side. And then the final screw that we need to remove that holds this cover in is just in there. Look, you can just about see it there. Okay. What we're also going to do though, we're going to remove this bracket that the speaker pod bolts to, and that will give us space to actually get the seatbelt itself out. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. That's the self-tapping screw that's fixing the B-post cover. And then I'm also going to remove this one, and the third one just at the bottom in there, and that will allow us to take this bracket off. Okay, I'll get on with that. We'll see you in a couple of seconds. Right, now we've got the speaker bracket removed and that screw out. You can see we can pull the B-post cover back far enough now that we can get at the seatbelt retractor. That's the seatbelt mechanism itself just in there. Now it's held on by one single bolt at the bottom there, which needs a 17mm socket on it to undo that bolt, and then we can just slide the whole mechanism out with the belt still attached to it. The one difficulty with doing the bolt is that when the seatbelt's retracted, the reels of the seatbelt themselves get in the way of the head of the bolt. So what we're going to do is pull the seatbelt out completely and then just tie a loose knot in it to stop it going back in, and then you can get at the head of the bolt and undo it and remove the seatbelt. And when you've undone your bolts, then you can extract the seatbelt mechanism. Now, that black plastic cap with the lug on the bottom, that covers the mechanism that locks the seatbelt. And this one on the other side, the spring is underneath there, which you tension as you pull the seatbelt out. Now, unless the thing is completely broken, then I would strongly recommend that you don't remove either of those two caps. If you do, then ball bearings and springs will disperse themselves to the four corners of your garage, and it's a right faff to get them back in. You don't need to actually get at the mechanism itself in order to do what we're going to do today, which is load the spring up a little bit more. What we're going to do instead is we're going to add some tension to this spring. So first of all, clean off the 20 years worth of dog hair, dandruff and general navel fluff that will have accumulated all over the thing. Maybe give it a bit of a spray on the bearing surfaces of the roller with a bit of spray, silicone lubricant, and that'll help to get things moving. And then we're going to want to put a bit more tension into this spring itself. So what we're going to do is unwind the belt completely. Now, you'll notice when you go to unwind the belt, you need to keep the mechanism completely vertical. If you tip it at all, it'll lock. Alright, so keep it completely vertical while you're doing all of this, and then just unwind the belt. Now with the belt unwound, you can see that the way this is secured is the belt comes in through the guide at the top, and then it goes into the back of the roller, comes out through the front of the roller there, and the way it's secured in the roller is, if you imagine that my fingers are the belt, all they've done is peeled the end of the belt over and then pushed it back into the roller, so it's a loose interference fit here in the front of the roller. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip that out of the front of the roller, pull the belt all the way out through the back of the roller, so the belt's hanging loose at the back here, and all the time we're doing that we're going to have to hold on to the roller to stop it unravelling when we take the belt out. Then when the belt's free, we're going to wind this roller on by another 1 to 3 turns to put a bit more tension into that spring. Then we'll put the belt back into the back of the roller, out through the front, and then secure it. Now it's worth getting a helper to help you with the next part, because it's a bit of a four-handed operation. While you're taking the belt out, you need somebody to hold on to the roller in order to stop it unravelling. And then when you've wound the spring on another turn, then it's useful to have your helper put the belt back in while you now hold on to the roller again. Right, so we've unwound the belt completely. I'm holding the tension in the roller so it can't unwind. Okay, and then helper Kate is going to get a little screwdriver, and she's just going to lever the belt out of the slot that it's pushed into there. Unfold the belt. See that edge you just fold over? And now she's going to pull that back through the roller, so just pull it straight back through the roller. And then just leave it hanging at the back there. Right, and now the belt's out the way, we're just going to wind this roller on another between 1 and 3 turns. It depends how slack your belts are. This one isn't too bad, so I'm just going to wind this on another 1 turn. 3 turns would probably be the most you'd ever have to do. It will take as much as 9 turns, but you won't ever, I don't think you'll ever need that much. So we're just going to wind this on another 1 turn. I've put a little mark on the roller just so I know when I've gone a complete revolution round. So we're just going to turn that. So keep it vertical so it doesn't lock, he says. That's half a turn. And the trick is keeping it vertical while you turn it. And that's a complete turn, so we're back around 1 turn there. Now we're going to push the belt back through and then peel that edge over and put that back in the slot, and that's the job finished. You might be thinking, that's amazingly loose the way that belt's held in there, but of course when you're actually using the belt, even if you're a real salad dodger, when you've got the belt around you, there's still several turns of belt all around this roller, so it's actually the turns of belt around the roller that hold the belt on. It doesn't have to be particularly well secured at this end. And now we've shoved the belt back through the roller. It's a bit of a shove, but you'll get it through eventually. Just give it a poke with a small screwdriver. Peel the end back over, just shove it back into that slot. Get it nice in there. That's it, we should now be able to put it back on. There you go. And you can see even when it's fully retracted now, we've still got a decent amount of tension on the belt. So all that remains is to put it back on the car. The way the bolt goes, the washers are arranged, is it's bolt, then the metal washer, then the seat belt, and then the fibre backed washer goes on the outside. The bolt's done up to a tension of between 35 and 40 Newton meters. The workshop manual doesn't say anything about thread locking this, but they clearly were thread locked when they were fitted to the car originally, so it won't do any harm. So put a bit of Loctite on the threads there, then put the whole assembly back onto the car. Remember when you put it back on to mount it vertically so that the belt will run in and out freely, and then put all your body fittings, all your interior trim back on, and that's the job.